Welcome everyone to the only podcast on the internet where you're part of the Roto, part of the chill session, so to speak. Today joining us in our circle is good old Roger.
It's a good day to be alive, Homer.
And Apollo God, the motherfucking sun.
Hello, hello.
And today we're going to start off our episode with a movie review for 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Which I did not see.
Yeah, unfortunately Apollo could not make it to the double feature due to hungover reasons.
But me and Homer were able to stop by, and we just saw like a few hours ago, so it's fresh in our minds.
Oh yeah, and I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. I was already pretty pumped about it, because I'm one of those people who like claustrophobic movies. Like with this movie only had 3 characters in it. I like movies like that, such as Buried, Locke, with Tom Hardy and Ryan Reynolds.
It gives you a lot more leeway for the writers to explore different, concepts or struggles that, each character can represent that people kind of go through.
And I feel like it was more suspenseful than most actual, like, straight-up horrors are.
And I'll be the first to say, back in our podcast when we first reviewed the first trailer, I was kind of disappointed that in the trailer, they kind of, I thought, ruined a lot of the suspense of the movie because it kind of showcased that hunky-dory, like, bomb shelter everyone gets along with.
Well, you find that out right at the beginning.
Yeah, no, I was surprised. Like, in the first 30 minutes, they went through everything in the trailer for the most part. I was like, oh,
which is a good thing for once.
Yeah, so they barely spoiled anything, and I was pleasantly surprised on where the story was going throughout the rest of the movie for the most part. It had really good pacing from beginning, middle, and end.
True, good writing, too. And I especially love John Goodman. He stole the show.
Oh my god. I especially after when we were just going through John Goodman, like, man, when have we ever seen John Goodman in a while?
I wish I saw this film just for John Goodman.
Trust me, he's worth the price of admission.
And then after realizing that he's Pacha from Emperor's New Groove, I can't help but look at the movie the same ever again.
Plus, he's also Sully from Monsters, Inc., so...
Oh, yeah, that's true, too.
More known for family-friendly.
Everyone's family-friendly, like, voice or whatever just turned a little bit more psychotic.
Yeah, psychotic and creepy in this one. And, he nailed it. I'm so pleased with it.
They definitely got the tense and creepiness when they need it. There are certain parts where it was a little bit more happy-go-lucky, just because the characters actually got along with each other, because you thought, like, oh, John Goodman, he must be batshit crazy. Like, there's something wrong with him. And then, like, they kind of throw you a curve about me, kind of makes you think otherwise. And then it goes back and forth, and it goes from brief happiness to a lot of tense moments.
They do a good job setting up possibilities of things happening, but they also, like, steer you in different directions, so something else completely happens.
Yeah, and mostly you're mostly worried about what's going on topside from, like, the little bit that you know what's going on throughout the world and, like, the little information you get from the characters. It's, like, really being stuck with John Goodman is, like, the last thing the characters have to really worry about, I think, in the more... Yeah. And they actually do explore a little bit of the outside, like, what's going on a little bit. I thought it was going to be a little bit more open-ended, and I wasn't really looking forward to that, but I was pleasantly surprised yet again.
Especially with people hating on the ending online. I will say the ending does need some work.
I'm so glad I didn't look up anything, unlike the comments or anything. That's like one movie I haven't really looked up or researched on before going. I didn't know a lot of people were pissed.
Do that to yourself.
It was subconscious. It's like everyone's saying, oh, the ending sucks, oh, blah, blah, blah. And my coworkers tell me, oh, the ending is so weird and what the F. I didn't think of it as a what the F ending, especially if you've seen the first Cloverfield. But it definitely needed work.
I didn't see the first Cloverfield. I just saw the shaky cam. I was like, I'm done with that.
Either.
So I don't know if you'll take this. I won't even say it, actually. I'll cut that out.
I think it's weird how the director is going all like American Horror Story with it, just changing up the stories completely every season.
Yeah,
movie,
like the first movie was a shaky cam, which most people hate, myself included, except for the exception of I think the first Cloverfield's okay, and I like Chronicle quite a bit. Those are the only.
Oh no, I do like Chronicle.
Those are the only 2 shaky cam movies that I'll stand up for.
The only really bad parts I had about the movie too much. It was that the ending was slightly sloppy the last like 5 or 10 minutes of the movie, but there was just only certain things I would change, but that it didn't really affect the ending as a whole. And I thought they kind of rushed like the main character's like backstory a little bit. I felt like
at the very beginning.
Yeah, I felt like I forget her name right now, like Michelle or
yeah, it was Michelle.
They talk a little bit briefly about her past relationship with her boyfriend and stuff like that, and it wasn't really like something that we cared too much throughout most of what else was going on in the movie. Without
going too deep in spoilers, we talked about it a little bit on the car ride home too, about how the beginning was mostly just symbolism about how she's like running from her problem.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what she did at the very beginning of the movie, was run away from her boyfriend after just having one fight.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. You wish they delved into that a little more.
Yeah, especially because like it was only at the very end when we were talking about in the car, I was like, oh yeah, and then at the very end she's running towards danger or the thing that she's afraid of.
Yeah.
Symbolisms. I like that. That's why I really like the ending. I thought it made up for the sloppiness.
I also agree with you there. I wish they do get into it a little bit, but I wanted them to get more into John Goodman's backstory.
Yeah, I know they kind of like go over a little bit, and he goes over a little bit, but you gotta kind of get different stories depending on who you're talking to.
At the same time, it adds to like the suspense and mystery behind it all. But I wish at the end we got more resolution with the character.
Yeah, I agree, and especially when it came to daughter or whatever, we kind of get more information about someone else, but it was nothing that there was like no conclusion to. It was kind of like leave it at your own story.
And for you new viewers out there, we have a very unique rating scale for these type of movies and video games. We rate it on a marijuana-based scale. At the very bottom, the lowest of the low, if you're desperate for a hit, you'll scrape out some resin, so we'd give that a resin rating.
Yeah.
Then you have mids, which gets you kind of baked, just a quick fix. It's for some people out there. It's average good, about a 3 rating. Then we get to a dank, where we think the movie is quite exceptional, but it has its flaws.
Yeah, and it's definitely worth going to see.
Yeah.
Your money's worth.
Exactly. So you'll definitely get baked off that. Then we have, the one that'll put you in light speed, so to speak, get you so baked, that would be a wax. Because if you've ever tried wax, that'll knock you off your feet.
There's the memes alone that you can research about wax are alone to get you.
It's just weed, they said.
Yeah, you'll be fine, they say.
So based off that scale, I'd give Cloverfield a nice dank, because it had some issues with it. Honestly, I think this was a superior film to the original Cloverfield, and it had like the same mystery behind it, but I think it was better done, better directed, better characters overall. So fat dank, you'll be pleasantly surprised by this little horror movie.
And I will also give it a dank, but I'll give it a dank plus, just because...
Ooh, almost a wag.
Yeah, almost. Just because I feel like, for people like me who never watched Cloverfield, I felt like I was very immersed in the setting and everything that's going on, because it was well made. It was a lot better directed this way, instead of just having shaky cam. I hate found footage films usually. I feel like this is a movie that is well worth your money, and that will attract a crowd larger than what you would think for like science fiction. Or it gives you kind of like science fiction and thriller at the same time, and you can get like, and I think it's definitely it should attract a lot more of a bigger crowd, because I think majority of the people will like this movie.
And before we move on, I really like that it's more of a psychological thriller rather than jump scares and all that stuff.
Yeah, all the bullshit that we're always used to nowadays. Yeah, no,
that's
psychological always gets me too. Especially, I just hate how there were a few jump scare moments just with the loud noises, and it made me jump.
That was the one thing I liked about the detail, just like the door creaking. That was kind of creepy.
that was good.
By itself.
And it was very loud. I like that. You should be kind of like freaked out about it when it should open, because it's a horrible situation you're in.
And I think it's pretty rewatchable. I suggest go out there, check it out before Batman vs Superman comes out in a couple weeks.
And now we're gonna be talking about cinema news that's going around in Hollywood. We have rumors going on about Han Solo standalone film that's going to be featured mostly about the origin story of Chewbacca. It will give you a cool aspect on the cruelty of the Empire and like the amount of xenophobia that goes along with it. And it's going to be kind of even more sad because of in episode 3 you see the clone troopers fighting the Wookiees to fight off the separatists. They're attacking. You see Yoda commanding them all.
On Kashyyyk.
And it's going to be so sad to see them now enslaving all the Wookiees at the very end. It's going to give you a different, grittier atmosphere. Yeah, not the Wookiees.
Dude, they're so huge. Why don't they just kill all their characters?
There's just not many of them, and they're kind of primitive species. Like
stupid fat bastards.
Yeah, the Empire uses their technology against our precious Wookiees.
So, fuck.
Hashtag free the Wookiees.
And plus we're going to get into the life debt between Han and Chewie.
Yeah, exactly. How does he deserve to get a life debt for him? Which is he probably will help him get out of slavery or buy off him or something like that. Buy his freedom.
This is probably the first positive news I've heard about the Han Solo movie so far.
Yeah,
it's gonna be weird not seeing Harrison Ford though.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I was gonna lead up to. I was gonna say, but this whole news can be killed immediately depending on who they cast as Han Solo.
Which is, I don't think this movie should be being made. I'd rather have Obi-Wan.
No,
Obi-Wan.
I'd
or
rather
something.
have Obi-Wan too, because Ewan McGregor at least would look the
Obi-Wan
part.
would be sick.
Especially knowing that we're getting a canon story-based Han Solo game along with
Yeah,
What about
exactly.
Aaron Paul as Han Solo?
Nah,
Yeah, I know,
no way.
right?
this. Not even close.
Trashy drug
I just,
addict.
yeah, I was gonna say.
That'd be changing
Picture
canon.
it.
I see him as someone Han Solo would go to get maybe information because he's like a
You'd go to
squealer.
him to get drugs.
He's
Dude,
like Jimmy the Squealer.
especially
I'll
knowing-
go over to him.
Especially knowing all the rumored names so far haven't been that great. That they've, especially names
Who could
like
fill that role for
Little
Christ's sake?
Franco,
Oh,
Little
Dave Franco.
no.
I can picture Little Franco.
No one
As
will
Han
ever
Solo?
accept Little Franco.
Sign me up.
His bushy eyebrows, nah, I couldn't do it.
I can't
Couldn't take
picture
it.
accepting anybody as a new Han Solo, to be honest. Especially knowing that this is supposed
Chris
to take.
Pratt is the only one that comes to mind
But
that I
then-
think would be doable.
But then he looks 30, so then how does that go with the timeline?
yeah, true.
When Han
he
Solo
looks
looks
younger,
30.
I think. You can pull off like a 20-year-old.
And I don't know, man.
I don't
Especially
know about that.
Especially because this is supposed to take place shortly before Episode 4. Well, not shortly, probably like 10 years before, maybe. So I just can't think they
Oh,
get the
10
look
years
down.
before? Well, that's it.
Well, it has to be some point after Episode 3, right?
Yeah, but I was gonna
To
say
free
10 years
Chewbacca.
after or before. Okay, then he would have to be like early 20s, like late teens. I don't know. I don't like that.
This is the first Star Wars movie I'm generally concerned about.
The only
I'm sure it'll
The
still
only
be
things that-
entertaining, but
I would like to see Lando, maybe whoever can play
Lando is
Lando,
definitely
and how
gonna
he
be in
wins
it.
off the Millennium Falcon, because that would be interesting. Him playing Pazak,
we're probably
that'd be
gonna
really cool. Because I used to remember playing that in Knights of the Old Republic, and I don't remember exactly how to play it, but I remember it was very fun and simplistic.
we're probably going to see him do that one run. Shit, what was it called?
The Kessel Run in
yeah.
less than 12 parsecs.
Dude, see how fast he actually does it?
Yeah, what if he cheats? He probably cheats. or
Yeah, I know he
something.
probably
Or
does too.
lies.
So that's interesting. I'm hesitant about this Han Solo movie news, but we'll keep you guys updated.
In other slightly Star Wars related news, the woman who played Rey in Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Daisy Ridley, is rumored to play Lara Croft.
Oh, I heard this also around the interwebs.
I would be so freaking down for that. She'd be perfect at it.
I heard it online where we're talking about like she doesn't have the breast size for Laura.
Now
She-
that's getting sexy.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say like that's exactly not. That's probably why they probably wanted to approach her and her sudden rise to fame and like
Since when has Lara
girl
Croft about
power.
big tits?
No,
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Have you
It's
seen
always
the
a great.
PlayStation version?
Oh, that's always a great bonus, like especially in the last couple. It's been woo.
Yeah, although, okay, I'll say this. Daisy Ridley might not have the tits that may be desired by some, but I take Daisy Ridley over most women because she's so fine.
I know. I was gonna say she definitely deserves.
And she's badass too, so it works out.
And
And
she's
she's a
def-
Jedi.
She's gonna be like a main icon for all nerdom fandom, like combined in two different sections.
Men are gonna be jacking off to her all across the globe for decades to come.
And she'll finally have like a
Congratulations.
British accent to play as Lara Croft, except and not the Americanized version for Angelina Jolie that she played in like 2001, which
True.
was actually a really great movie. I love that movie.
This
to
could be
death.
great, especially with the Uncharted movie coming out, which Chris Pratt's rumored for that.
That's
Imagine-
actually a lot better choice.
Imagine if Chris Pratt and Daisy Ridley had a child,
Dang.
and the movie's called
Oh
like
my
the
God.
child of Tomb Raider and Uncharted or
Holy
something.
balls!
And
Ultimate Treasure Hunter.
End my life.
just put him under Batman's wing as a Robin or something. And he'd be that probably
okay,
just
now
trump
we're
all.
getting weird.
The fourth Robin, the son of Nathan Drake and
What?
Lara
Yeah.
Croft.
What have we done?
The ultimate crossover. But yeah, that's just a rumor. Things could easily change about that, but we'll keep you updated. Personally, I hope the video game renaissance of movies comes,
Comes forth this
Comes
year.
to fruition.
especially with Warcraft and Assassin's Creed hitting theaters this year.
about Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank
Fuck
actually
Ratchet and Clank.
that's coming out in April.
I'm so sad it's gonna look like crap. I'm such a huge fan.
I'm hoping for the best,
I'm
but
gonna
I'm
waste
not
money
sure.
for that movie.
Nah, we'll double feature it, bro. We have a lot of cool stuff coming out
Yeah,
in
that's
April.
true. I
I'm
forgot.
not sure if I'll be down to see Ratchet and F and Clank.
Apollo, you'll do it for the fans. The fans want to hear this
I'm
review.
not sure if I'll do it for the fans.
We'll-
Fans can just go fuck
Fans
themselves.
can go see Ratchet and Clank if they want to.
Yeah, they
If
put
want
one for
to
the
review on it.
team.
It's our duty to tell them to see it or not.
We will be there when
Again,
there's a terrible movie out.
Spoiler alert, you don't have to go see it.
I have slight faith. We'll see. Now we're going to move on to trailers of the week. And our first trailer we checked out was for Hologram for the King.
Tom Hanks news.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
lucky.
Yeah, I was sold on the movie from Tom Hanks.
I didn't even know that it was actually made by Tom Hanks, but as soon as I saw it was like the first written words I saw, I was like, okay.
I have
you
no
already
idea.
hooked me.
I have no idea how the movie itself is going to go, but I have to say, this is the cheesiest trailer I've seen in a long time.
Cheesy.
I was gonna say Apollo was able to figure something out like in the first second, like they show about the wife, or he's gonna try to.
I don't remember at all.
Girlfriend with the verse.
In the trailer with Tom Hanks.
Yes, didn't you pronounce that that's gonna be his girlfriend or whatever?
Oh yeah, I said he's gonna bang that chick the moment she healed him. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. Okay. So like, there's one part where Tom Hanks has a panic attack or something from something or other.
They don't even showcase it; it just happens randomly.
Yeah. He just wakes up and then, whoa, where am I?
Panic attack.
And there's this fucking Muslim lady who's just helping him out, and suddenly, like the moment she's holding his hand, I'm just like, oh, they're banging. Like this is happening.
And
if you've seen Cloverfield Lane, you don't want to hold hands like that.
And just from seeing the trailer, I feel like we know the beginning, middle, and end in a weird way. But when they first talked about how Tom Hanks was going to Saudi Arabia, he likes to get involved with traveling to foreign areas. In the last couple of films he's
Who could blame him?
I know, right? But I was kind of hoping that they showcase a little bit of the graphic side behind it, and they do showcase oh yeah, the beheadings are over there. I'm like, okay, very good, because Saudi Arabia is one of America's main bitch ally. So I thought they were gonna try to forecast them in a better lighting than instead of just being military dictators.
No,
Dude, I felt like this trailer just kind of made it look like a copy paste of the usual I need to go travel to make my life
exactly.
better. New place. Now I feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
After a while,
especially with the cheesy.
Date the inhabitants, spread my seed across the continents.
Spread your seed.
All over the world.
No condom. That's the way to do it.
Make half bleeds.
And I felt like the only thing that really set this trailer apart was just the fact that he was selling holograms. Wow, what a futuristic random token thing to throw in there, and then
just
to
show to a Saudi Arabian king.
And it's a cool title too, 2 in 1.
But with a cheesy trailer like that, with that cheesy narration, how can you go wrong?
No,
it was
narrator's voice, dude, that was just wrong.
It literally
almost sounded like a joke.
Might as well should have Rob Schneider.
No, that's what I was gonna say. It reminded me of the Rob Schneider narrator throughout.
Sometimes you just have to go
Tom
Hanks feel better about yourself.
He's feeling empty about himself.
So probably the cheesiest Tom Hanks movie I've seen in quite a while.
This is not my beautiful wife. This is not my beautiful house.
Overall, I say that trailer was actually, it was kind of a mixed bag, but actually I can't wait to actually see it, because I feel like it's just going to be an okay movie at the very least.
Especially with Tom Hanks.
Unlike
We might double feature it, we'll see.
Maybe.
Unlike the trailer that we saw for Adderall Diaries, which actually, before we even put this on, I thought this was going to be some sort of branch off to trans spotting, but as soon as I saw James Franco in the thumbnail, I was like, okay, I wonder where this is going to go.
I'll see it for James Franco, and if it's bad, I'll walk right out.
Yeah, I was gonna say from the trailer, it seemed to be going in so many different directions. I kind of had a hard time understanding the main plot of the movie.
Yeah,
I feel like
happening here?
I was one, confused by the plot. Two, they didn't even mention Adderall in the trailer.
Yeah.
So I just assumed he's on Adderall the whole time.
Yeah, no, or is symbolism? I don't know.
Knowing movies, at some point somebody will say the Adderall.
These are my Adderall diaries.
Yeah, because that is what the movie is called.
Yeah, he probably writes a diary throughout. I don't know. The trailer didn't excite me at all for this movie, to be honest. I was hoping for better.
I'll see anything for James Franco once, but
I honestly can't say too much about it, except for a lot of actors are in the movie. You had what's his face from Radio.
Oh, Radio.
Yeah, we haven't been teaching Radio. Radio's the one that's been teaching us.
We've seen that movie.
He always plays as the disappointing father, in so many freaking movies.
Now he's I don't even know he's supposed to be in this.
Another disappointing father for James Franco.
I don't know, man. This trailer, we'll see. We'll see if it lines up with a double feature.
And now we're on to a very exciting piece of news: the new Civil War trailer that it really turned me on for this movie. I was already super excited, like seeing all the action, seeing Spider-Man for the first time, like
Yeah, it's really had the
it changed
internet
my
buzzing,
pants.
dude.
And
Hell yeah.
Before I even checked the comments too, I saw the trailer and I just wanted to inform Homer about it. And I was saying, oh, by the way, like the outfit for Spider-Man's a piece of shit. And then he just replies back immediately that he's like, they could have been playing a more safe card. Little did I know that that's like literally like a huge thing going on the interwebs about it.
Yeah, a lot of people bitching about the suit, but
the haters.
I thought I was being original with the suit. I thought I was gonna be the only one that's gonna be like, I'm
Dude,
not a big fan of it.
literally,
It looks OG.
yeah, I thought they could have been more conservative with their costume pick. It looks just like
So-
Spider-Man.
After
Perfect.
talking about like more of the, it makes, especially the way how they're taking Spider-Man, like making him have like a teenage actor play as a teenager,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
it
character,
sounds so young.
and it sounds very authentic, and it kind of makes sense why the suit wouldn't be super awesome like in the Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, like Tobey Maguire's. The kid probably made it out of like makeshift shit. Like he
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
didn't like sew it to make it look super professional looking. Hollywood looking like type of costume.
True
And it
that.
kind of shows with the spider symbol he has on it. It's kind of like the old fashioned, very tiny one. Like that
Yeah.
almost looks like not so scary at all.
I'm very
Spider-Man's not
excited.
supposed to be scary.
I'm very fucking excited for Civil War, but one question I had is, why did they show the killing off of the fucking black guy?
War
Rhodes.
Machine.
Yeah, why did they show War Machine dying off?
That's what I've been questioning. Actually, I
they
had
kind
a
of showed it off in the earlier trailers. They just show like Iron Man
Yeah.
hugging
That's
over.
a huge part of the movie.
Yeah,
though.
they
why
should
not
have
just
never
show-
shown it.
They could just show the ending now.
That's just gonna be what starts like the Civil War probably at that point, like when it gets super
Probably,
serious.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
that's when Iron Man snaps.
crap. He goes crazy.
So it's- and the action does look fantastic. Plus, I really like that opening shot of Winter Soldier. That was really awesome looking. But I have a huge gripe to pick with Marvel about this trailer. I was so proud of them of not advertising Spider-Man at all in their
Not
campaign.
having to show their ace up their sleeve.
Yeah,
No,
but
they
no,
had to swing it out.
they showed it.
Swing it out.
I was so disappointed when I heard Spider-Man was in the trailer because they didn't need to show Spider-Man to sell tickets for this movie. I would have much rather had a theatrical experience seeing the new Spider-Man for
agree.
the first
No,
time.
I agree.
That would have been tight just for the movie's sake, but they'd rather just try to boost sales.
Yep, and I'll be the same. And DC is the same thing. I'd rather see Wonder Woman in the movie, but they
Exactly. They
popped her off,
spoiled
too.
everything.
I'd rather not see her at
These
all
guys
in the movie.
know how to keep it in
period.
their pants
I
until
would.
the big night.
Little bits and pieces that they did add, though, I really was happy about, especially what referring to the Black Panther, because I think he has the
Black
coolest,
Panther is
Oh,
so
best
sick.
costume
Black Panther
of
looks
everyone. And in the trailer, it shows him chasing Winter Soldier in a motorcycle.
It looks so
And
intense.
then, like, while he's chasing him, Captain America's chasing Black Panther, and like he's like trailing behind. So it kind of
Black
shows
Panther's
you
gonna
how
whoop
fast
Cap's
Black
ass.
Panther is and how durable he is. And it's showing him getting gunned down like from a helicopter, his armor being able to take
Dude.
most of it.
This is mine and Steven's year. When I was a kid, one of my sleeper comic book characters was Black Panther, and Steven's was Doctor Strange. And now we're finally seeing him on the big screen
I
this
know
year.
coming and they do really have good actors playing, especially for Benedict Cumberbatch.
I'm pleased for both. And it's finally in good hands. I trust Marvel. I know Marvel
the
movies coming
blackness?
out. It's gonna be good.
I think
Who's
Idris
Black Panther?
something
Alba.
Alba.
Idris Elba,
Ah,
the black guy from The Office.
I know.
Oh yeah, good. Just so you know. So yeah, we're very pumped for this. Great year for four, in my opinion, four great looking superhero movies coming out. Five, yeah, if you count X-Men. So I'm excited for superhero movies this year. Starting off our video game news, we're gonna start off with some reviews for you guys. As you guys know, on Friday, the first episode for the new 2016 Hitman game came out,
Sick.
and I was lucky enough to buy this bad boy. And
I
I've
was
got
lucky enough to watch it.
yeah,
Me
Roger
too.
got to see some, and so did Apollo. And I'm on the last mission, I believe, on this episode, so I haven't completed yet, but I'm so close.
No, I was gonna say from the little bits and pieces that you showed me, it's very interactive in terms of the gameplay and how you can interact with the citizens and whatnot.
It was really cool.
There was
and
just
immersive.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm very pleased. Although some kills are very much more obvious than others, I just love the variety of kills you have in this, and it brings high replayability for this game until the next episode, because you could play each level in such a different way, and some of the kills are quite frankly hilarious.
And you were telling me too that during the tutorial that they kind of walk you through how to kill one way, then like the very end they're like, oh yeah, this is, you could have done it like 14 different ways.
Yeah, exactly. And they actually force you to play the tutorial twice just to show you how different varieties.
They force you to play it twice.
Yeah, the first time they like walk you through it, and the second time they just cut you loose and to figure everything out.
I like that.
Like Roger and I were talking about earlier, they've really worked on the smart AI for this one. There's very different interactions based on the outfit you're wearing, and I feel like all the characters are very authentic and realistic, and it could be quite funny sometimes how they react to you. They're like, buddy, you don't belong here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of dialogue going on
janitor or
between the
something.
AI and stuff like that. You can just spend like 40 minutes just listening to personal stories going on between like different AIs and stuff like that, just to get more immersed in the environment that you're in.
Exactly, which is great detail. And speaking of detail, just the level designs, I feel like they put a lot of well-crafted detail into...
A lot of verticality, a lot of multiple levels you can go to in different like...
Yeah,
it seems very big.
it's not quite open world. Like, it starts you off in a level, and then like it just leaves you in this open area.
It probably just needs to be like that too. I don't think it needs to go completely open world yet.
Although I'd love to see that.
And although I was kind of disappointed it was episodic at first, I kind of think it's a smart thing, because a lot of people were hating on Absolution online and stuff. Got bad reviews. So I think their idea is, let's have a $15 part to this game, so people don't have to spend that much money to take a risk with this game, just in case they hate it, just like Absolution.
You know, and that's fine. I just hope that many other huge game developers
Usually-
don't fall in on this.
Usually this wouldn't work, but for this game I feel like it does, especially since it's episodic. And the cinematics look breathtaking. Although the graphics themselves are just okay,
Yeah.
but when it gets into cinematic mode, it's just like, oh my god, this is next gen. And me and Paula were talking on the cinematics last week, because they released the opening for it.
They're very sick.
And I saw the opening again when I played them, just like, damn, these cinematics are good. And I believe the reason they went episodic was so they could perfect each level before release for the ultimate experience or something.
And like maybe if they
fix any bugs.
and they can add some feedback in from like fans and whatnot. Maybe they can update it.
Since it's a level-based game, they can do it that way. You know, episodically.
Like Roger was saying, I just hope it doesn't fall into a huge trend with most games, because I want my game here and now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'd rather wait for a game to be fully released and I can take it in as a whole, because...
I don't know, you gotta love that delayed gratification. Life is Strange had me on edge for months and months and months.
But
True,
I was going to say...
it only works for certain games, though. I feel like that was perfect for it, but if you had games like, I don't know, the Witcher or something, or maybe Call of Duty, if you want to get through like certain campaign missions, you're like, oh, you gotta wait for the second half of the campaign to come. Or be like Street Fighter. You don't even have like arcade mode, or you
Street Fighter, I don't even know what they're thinking.
They don't have a story mode. They don't have an arcade mode. That's coming in like the next few months. It's like, why couldn't you just release the game as a whole?
Yeah, I don't understand their thinking there. But some gripes with Hitman I have, not too many. One, the story is not too interesting for me so far, which is why I prefer like Telltale episodic, because it always leaves you with a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And although I haven't finished this yet, I don't feel like I'm going to have like too much of a cliffhanger.
There's never been usually a huge story going on with the Hitman, to be honest.
Yeah, so it's more for gameplay, to be honest. And my second gripe is I feel like, especially after I have all 6 episodes, I'm sure all sceneries will be beautiful and stuff. I just feel like this could get very repetitive after a while, because this one really focuses on stealth base rather than gunslinging, which I do like about the game, because it makes you feel more like a Hitman.
Yeah.
It really inspires you to get...
I do hate it when people usually go guns blazing and games on a stealth game. Like we did like in Unity after a certain point going co-op.
Because Unity, the stealth didn't work.
Unity, there was no
there was no stealth system. It was pretty bad.
However, in Hitman Absolution, I actually thought it was a lot of fun. Just when you did happen to fail stealth, just, okay, everyone's gotta die.
Not holding me back
but
anymore.
You don't get that option this time.
Yeah.
If shit hits the fan, I pretty much know I'm about to die in 2 shots.
Interesting.
How would you rank it thus far?
Yeah, on our marijuana scale, I would give it a solid dank. And the reason is, it does a great job making me feel like the Hitman, getting the cleanest and most creative kill as possible. But like I was saying, the story is lackluster, and I really love story-based games. So you're not going to get a whack from me unless I love your story.
Alright.
most of the time.
And for other video game news, I had the chance to play extensively over Far Cry Primal. And
Roger thinks he's better than us.
And
I'm pumped for
I had the
Primal,
choice
dude.
between either getting this or the Division, because they kind of came out near similar times. And I decided to go with Far Cry Primal just because I was more interested in
Probably the wise
the
choice.
setting, theme, and like the different gameplay mechanics that you can do from previous Far Cry games, which Far Cry 3 and 4 are super similar.
Yeah,
That
which
this
is a
one
big
felt like it
complaint.
was a different theme and setting that it felt so different and unique, and it has an identity of its own.
Which is good.
And I was gonna say, like, part of the pros I must say is it is one of the most beautiful looking, kind of like next gen worthy game. Like the flora, everything, the sun,
The lighting.
is phenomenal in that game, and it has a level of like depth to the map that they have. Like even the cave systems are very awesome, and unique. Like you have to go and like scour caves and find like paintings and stuff like that. It's just super cool, and it has like a day and night cycle where at nighttime animals are super aggressive, and you see like eyes like highlighted in the
God.
forest. Yeah, it makes it look creepy, and like wolves come in like huge packs and whatnot. So as it kind of gives you the Dying Light perspective.
Which is pretty neat.
Another portion of the game is they changed you see a lot of similarities between Far Cry 3 and 4, such as you have to take the outposts and stuff like that are similar to control parts in the map. That's very similar. And the gathering system is very similar, except it's more enhanced in this way. Basically, all the supplies you get can either go for crafting either upgrades for your weapon. There are a lot of upgrades you can do,
Which is good.
Which is very cool. And
That's what I was hoping for.
yeah, and you can also upgrade huts or certain huts to the village of like either your shaman, your war chief, your hunter, or your gatherer and stuff like that. And when you do, like for the gatherer, for instance, if you upgrade to level 2, she'll start leaving rare provisions and material in your supply sack every morning. So
I feel that sack.
I know, right? So if you can, like, this is a game where and you have to use the perk system. I would use it right off the bat to get a lot of perks for gathering. It'll save you a lot of time in the later run. And
yeah.
I must say, the perk system is way better than in this game than in Far Cry 3, especially 4, where I was getting really annoyed where you couldn't like get certain perks unless you got through certain parts in the main story. I didn't really like that too much.
You got rid of that.
Yeah, especially since like you can level up really quickly and fast if you did everything else but the story mode
Yeah.
going on in Far Cry 3 and 4, or especially
Yeah,
4.
especially 4. They have tons of side missions. Are there a lot of side missions again?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you do see there are a lot of side missions that you get similar to Far Cry 4, but they're different in terms of
Well, they have to be since it's like Primal.
they're different, but they all feel actually genuine because like the main part of the game is you're trying to like rebuild your Wenja clan because it's almost completely wiped out because this one clan destroyed them and is now hunting them down the forest, and you're supposed to unite all the scavenged Wenja and take on 2 other clans, one that worships fire and one that is full of cannibals and stuff like
shit.
that. So you kind of get instead of just fighting one faction, you kind of get 2 different ones that have different like enemies and stuff like that you have to deal with. One involves like they use a lot of like gas and fires combinations like to spread out or like hurt you from a distance and stuff like that. Because bows and arrows are really cool and useful in this game.
When you were playing at any time, did you ever notice any similarities between Primal's maps and Far Cry 4's?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. I know exactly. There have been certain screenshots I saw of people like comparing like waterfalls that are similar to Far Cry, but that's really stupid because
No, it's the entire map. Like, if you copy and paste the maps on top of each other, then, like, the rivers are almost the same. Like, a lot of the land masses are exactly the same.
I wouldn't go through that at all from what I've played.
They might have just moved around a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, it wouldn't take that much to make it seem like a totally different map, but it would be kind of cool to think of it as the same place, you know?
It could be. I mean,
Well, at the same time, it's kind of cheap and lame that they would do that.
They
Just
always
like,
kind of have like
As long as
made
you
up
don't
areas
notice.
that you go to. Where
Yeah.
were you in Far Cry 3? Like some sort of island in the middle of nowhere.
I
Like
love
they
that.
don't really give you specific. You have better clearing in Far Cry 4. You're in Tibet, Nepal area. Like that makes sense.
Kairat.
Kirat.
Kirat.
And this one, I'm just assuming you're in somewhere between Africa and the Middle East, like because you're around awesome mountain areas and stuff like that. But no, I haven't seen any simulators. Not enough for me to really bitch about, too. No.
Isn't it true that you trip in this one by drinking the blood of your enemies from a skull?
Yes.
Sweet.
It looks as disgusting as it sounds, but it looks...
Misa want it.
That's what you get from the shaman, and you do a lot of ridiculous quests involving him. The only real cons I would have to say is that the ending is very not good, like, at all. Like, you build up to destroying this one clan, and then when you do... That's it. Like, there's nothing like else that the people say. This one woman's like, "Oh yes, the ears, they have stopped. They're not screaming anymore." Like, and that's pretty much it. And there was like a cool boss fight that you got between the two clan leaders, and that was really awesome and different. It wasn't really a worthy ending where I felt very satisfied, you know, going through so many freaking side missions and stuff, helping out my clan and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, there are some repetitive animals that keep showing up in Far Cry, which I would say, like, you still have the badger that showed again, and you can tame it if you want to, which is cool.
Badger.
But there's just, like, too much skin of the same animal. You still have the eagle still, you have... The only thing that's really different is, like, the saber-tooth, really.
Do they have Komodo dragons?
No, they do not.
Damn.
I wish they did. That would be pretty cool.
I miss them from Far Cry 3. Komodo dragon!
And that's pretty much it. I honestly give this probably... for a grade, probably a dank or a dank minus around there. It's definitely, it's like my B minus B scale. It's definitely, I would say, probably worth buying. It anywhere between $50 and $60, especially for when it's at probably like right now. There are a few. If you don't want to play, if you're tired with Far Cry 4, especially after playing it recently, and you really want something different, like completely different, I say this is different enough for you to appreciate the developer and the series, the Far Cry series as a whole. If you don't have the money to go on, I would say probably spend it on something different if you really skimmed you on money lately. But overall, with the count, I think I had like around like 20 to 30 hours of gameplay with it. I say I enjoyed
beating it.
Yeah, I after that, you know, I felt very satisfied throughout most of my journey. It's definitely replayable. Just because it's cool, because like when you start with one population of Winja and go up to like 150, 200, you just have a huge community at the very end. And it's just a really cool like transformation. Yeah, and you see them like using drums and like dancing and stuff like that after like you do
It's finally good to see a game take place in the Primal days.
Yeah, and now it seems to be a huge like sort of theme now, especially a few other games coming out near that Primal 10,000 BC era.
I would love to see Far Cry do some type of like Native American Indian thing.
That would be pretty
That
cool.
would be
I would be down. Just get some.
There's infinite possibilities, and I'm really excited for Primal because there's most likely going to be a dinosaur DLC.
Woo! Or maybe some random or even more obscure one, like maybe zombies maybe aliens. Aliens, for crying out loud.
Those are both retarded.
No, are you kidding me? Primus versus a higher life form of aliens?
No, I think they should do an entire Far Cry game about aliens. Like,
Because
you are an alien.
Oh god.
An alien trapped on a human island.
Holy shit.
Far Cry 5
Your ship
confirmed.
crashed on it.
And finishing off today's show and our video game news, we have some information from the head of PlayStation about PlayStation VR, which I still think is a dumb name.
Yeah, no.
Should have stuck with Morpheus.
Yeah, I agree. Gives you a little edge.
But basically, they're about to have a conference announcing the details about Morpheus, and you just want to do some crowd control and announce that, one, the Morpheus will not be as powerful as the Oculus, obviously, but it will be cheaper, so...
We're looking at around $200-$300 price range. That's and like the PlayStation 4 is around like $350, I think, average right now. So,
and the site we were looking at was claiming that to run the Oculus at its peak performance, you need a $350 graphics card, which is basically the price of the console. So you can't expect them to compare really.
Basically, you need like $1,000 or so PC or more to run the Oculus Rift.
Yeah, you gotta be stacked.
And another reason I'm not too worried about this is because I feel like Sony will put more development into the games rather than Oculus. I feel like they're going to try to be more like app-based and stuff. That's what I'm afraid of, honestly.
Gotcha. If I just see a little bit of VR technology, I'm fine with it. I'm not going to be too picky with it. I'll take what I can get. And I hear that Sony VR is more focused on sound, and I feel like that can be really experimented with to get people more immersed.
Yeah.
Because people do underestimate how good sound can be.
And this is
I'm
going.
excited to see VR. Period.
Yeah, I
Me
know.
too. And he said this is going to be more of the focus for the casual consumer VR for your home.
And that's a smart choice because there's definitely going to be people that are intimidated.
I don't want to be a casual consumer. I want to lose my life. I want to sit there forever.
Oh, it's Hollow again. Oh, God. The
Oh
regular.
no. Just hooked up. Did they do that in South Park like they couldn't get out?
Yeah, I know.
And then Sword Art Online.
Yeah, I
Cuffed
know.
off.
References, which is everyone's
Yeah.
like favorite dream of happening.
But yeah, that conference is taking place next week, and we'll probably give you guys the full shindig on what goes down on next week's podcast. And also, stay tuned. On next week's podcast, we will also have a full review for The Division, featuring gameplay and all that cool stuff.
Woo!
And before we end today's episode, last week we asked you guys, would you rather go out on a romantic date with Aaron Paul or Jason Bateman? Paul, you had all week to think about this. How you feel?
Aaron Paul. I feel like he'd be cooler to do lots of drugs with, you know? However, Jason Bateman would probably have a big stick up his butt about it, so.
Jason Bateman, I feel like he'd be awkward. So yeah, I'd also go Aaron Paul because I feel like he'd be much more fun time. Don't forget to leave your answers below because this week we're asking you guys, would you rather be stuck in a bunker with a emotionally disturbed John Goodman, or would you rather be stuck in a bunker with Agent 47 who has chronic masturbation disorder and has to constantly masturbate all the time? So those are your choices. And please comment below.
Question.
Please comment below your answers. We're very curious to hear as to why you have chosen your answer. And that'll do it for this week's episode. Thank you all for listening. As I announced last week, stonerman.net has been taken off the interwebs. We are currently working on stonerman.com. It's going to be new and improved, so stay tuned. I'm very excited. So as always, stay lifted, my friends.
Take it easy, Internet. It's been fun. I'll see you next time.
What have I done? Where did you go wrong, Regis?
I was De Niro.
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Beware.